Here's the pitch. Imagine the best superhero TV show this year, then imagine you're the one picking comebacks, breaking up bar fights, and sending reformed villains to save a power plant before it pops. That's Dispatch. It's loud, petty, very human, and shockingly sweet under all the snark. The hook isn't capes, it's The Office. You're Robert Mechaman Robertson, a washed-up mech hero who loses the suit and gets promoted to middle management. Your team, the Z-Team, a Phoenix program lineup of ex-villains trying to be useful members of society and not, set each other on fire during karaoke. Let's talk format because it matters. This is 8 episodes of interactive TV, tight scenes, no wandering hub rooms. You're choosing lines and making calls. It launched episodically, now the full season's out, and it moved over 1 million copies in 10 days, which is wild for a talkie game. Price tag lands around $30, Steam Deck verified, and the production values are frankly rude for the budget. Outlandish comic panel framing, expressive animation, and a cast that shouldn't work but does. Aaron Paul plays Robert with gravelly warmth. Laura Bailey makes Invisigals Am I Fated to Be Bad? Arkland with real bite. Even streamer cameos don't clang. Jacksepticeye Moistker one Tykel, the whole crew show up and sell it. The split in reviews comes down to one question. Is this a game you play or a show you guide? PC Gamer calls it a brilliant season of TV with moments where you wish you could do more. GameSpot praises the writing and cast, but points out that some headline choices funnel back to the same beats. And you can't choose silence, the game picks a default if you let the timer run. Video Gamer, meanwhile, swears your choices bite, especially in how character arcs, Invisigals in particular, resolve. All three agree on this much. The writing is fast, mean, and tender, sometimes in the same sentence. Under the TV sheen, there's an honest-to-God game loop, and it slaps. Between cutscenes, you clock in as dispatcher. Calls hit the board, cat stuck up high, influencer meltdown, bomb ticking under a freeway, and you scan each blurb for the telltale phrasing. No violence, move fast, talk them down. Then you pick the right ex-villain for the job, balancing stats like combat, vigor, mobility, charisma, intellect. It's a puzzle box dressed like Uber for superheroes. Send the bruiser alone and you fail the PR angle, send the charmer without wheels and you time out. There's synergy if you pair the right two. There's leveling, passive perks, coffee to yank a tired hero back into rotation, and penalties if someone comes back injured because you were greedy with staffing. It's quick and crunchy, just enough friction to make you mutter, one more shift. Layer 2 is the hacking minigame. Yes, everyone groans at hacking, but this one ramps cleanly. Early on, you're gliding a little polyhedron through circuits. By mid-season, you're juggling codes, chasing a charge from node to node, and dodging a vindictive antivirus eye. There's an accessibility toggle if you hate timers, but when you let the clock tick, it sells the fantasy that you're still Mecha Man under the desk job, just saving the day with a keyboard instead of a rocket punch. Romance, it's here and it's messy. You can woo your boss, blonde blazer, or spar flirt with Invisible. HR would have a coronary. The chemistry with Invisible reads as canon and lines up with the season's spine. Fate versus choice. Robert keeps telling her your choices define you, not your power. The irony writes itself. This is a choice-driven game where some consequences are more show than shove. But when your coaching actually changes who she becomes by the finale, it lands. Quick spoiler in 3, 2, 1. Early on, you're forced to cut a teammate from the roster. The candidates are fixed no matter how you min-max the board. And that's where the illusion of choice critique is loudest. Back to safety. Even if the macro beats are set, the micro outcomes, roster synergies, romance fallout, who's spiraling during a blackout shift, keep your playthrough feeling like yours. When Dispatch does pull you onto the field, it goes big. QTE brawls are scarce but stylish, with a rhythm that feels closer to a music video than a button check. The one ding, sound mixing in fights can be flatter than it should be. The humor keeps the highs from getting self-serious too. This is not the MCU's quippy oatmeal. It's a pressure cooker of bad habits and good intentions. You'll watch a firebrand who weaponizes karaoke, a moisture-cursed disaster named Waterboy, and a tiny ex-speedster who looks like Black Einstein tried to be better while the city keeps score. Found family is the genre's oldest trick. Dispatch earns it with tacos after a bar brawl and a dog named Beef who steals every scene. So where do we land? Dispatch is what happens when Telltale veterans commit to the bit. It sacrifices freedom to deliver pacing, and in exchange you get a season that almost never wastes a frame. If you need heavy systemic branching to feel invested, you'll see the rails. If you can live with curated outcomes in exchange for characters who feel alive, you'll get one of the best sitcom meets superhero arcs in years. And that Dispatch board, it's strong enough to stand as its own indie. That's not nothing. If this kind of no BS deep dive is your thing, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. If you're nodding or fuming, toss a like. So this take survives the algorithm, and we keep coverative bangers instead of chasing trailer drama. Final spark for the comments. If a story game nails pacing and character but limits big fork consequences, is that a flaw or a fair trade? And which romance did you choose? Blonde Blazer's Red Flags or Invisigil's redemption arc?